Yeah, by me.
No more mic. Yeah. Just waiting for Jason to come
That's right. That's right.
in. Ready? Okay, folks, let's call to order the Township of Lopatcong regular meeting for March 2nd, 2022. I would ask everyone to bow their head for a moment of silence, keeping in mind the people over in Ukraine. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, advertising a notice in the Star Ledger and the Express Times by posting a copy on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Roll call, please.
Councilman Del Caro.
Here.
Councilman Wade.
Here.
Councilman Polito.
Here.
Council President Wright.
Here.
Mayor Nichols.
Here. Need a motion to come out of executive session?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Gina?
Council was in executive session for approximately 1 hour. The topics of discussion are attorney-client privilege regarding park planner, attorney-client privilege regarding time clocks, and a personnel matter. The minutes from executive session will be available at such time as the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Folks, questions, comments on public comment, on agenda items only. Hearing and seeing none, I'll move into old business. Number one is the minutes of the January 19th and February 2nd, 2022 executive and regular sessions. If you've all had a chance to look at that, do we have any questions, comments, additions, subtractions? Hearing and seeing none. Motion on number one.
Make the motion.
I'll second it.
Councilman Del Caro.
Abstain.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Council President Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Nichols.
Yes. Number two is ordinance number 2022-01. It's a second reading and public hearing to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. Have a motion to open it up to the public.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Folks, questions, comments? Seeing none, motion to close.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion on number two.
I make the motion.
I'll second it.
Councilman Del Caro.
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Council President Wright.
Yes.
Yes. Number three is a 2022 budget discussion. Kim, you want to let us know where we're at?
Yes, this is continuation from last meeting's discussion. Originally, when we spoke about this at the last meeting, when we did all the numbers, it would have been almost a 4-cent increase in their local share. Instead, with using more surplus, we've been able to minimize that and get it down to 2 cents, which would mean that the increase for a median house that's assessed at $231,000, the increase would be in total, local, county, and school, approximately $56 for the year.
So less than $5 a month. And that's assuming that the school board keeps it at 2 cents. The county, as you know, has dropped. Obviously, with the increase in insurances and gas and everything else that goes on, I think a less than $5 a month increase is pretty good for our local share. And it also increases our surplus from 2.3 to 3.2.
Our balance would be 3.2.
Yeah, so, again, sounds like a lot. It really isn't in this township. However, if you look at a few years back, we were at $65,000 total for surplus, and now we're at 3.2.
3.2.
So, we've done a good job. All our department heads have done a good job. I've asked, the chief's here, so I'll pick on him. I told him that I would try and get him 2 cars every year for as long as I was mayor, provided we could do it. I said, if you don't need them, please tell me about it. This is the second time in my 5 years as mayor that he has told me he only needs 1 car. You're not going to get that out of a lot of department heads. They're going to go for the 2 because that's what I said. So my thanks to you and the way that department is run down there. We've gotten Brian, our DPW supervisor, in some pretty good shape down there. We needed some trucks. We had bought some, back when I was on council, seems like forever ago, but we had bought some trucks and we made a mistake. We bought some used trucks. Not a good thing to do. So we've gotten some new trucks over the last couple of years. So he's in pretty good shape. We're looking at a park planner to evaluate our park. Last time that was done over was in 2006. That is gonna cost us about $52,000 for that. But that will let us know exactly where we're heading with the park and the pool and the roadways and whatnot up there. Something needs to be done up there. That park is now 55 years old. So last time it was done, like I said, I think it was in 2006. So we're gonna take a look at it. We'll get some input from the community on the park itself. So it's it's an increase in your taxes. It's an increase in all our taxes. You know, if you have 10 police cars running around last year and you got the same cars running around this year covering the same township, you're not doing it for the same amount of money. We all see it at the gas pump. So I'm personally pretty happy with this budget, and my thanks to the other four gentlemen that are up here. We are in a much, much better place than we were a few years ago. So as much as we don't like the warehouses, or people say they don't like the warehouses, they are helping enormously with our tax. So, you know, it's, I guess if you want to stop the warehouses and the truck traffic, quit buying stuff online. So it's about the only way I can think you're going to stop it, because that's just the way the world is right now. And as I've said several times, with any kind of growth, whether it be housing or whatever in the township, it's not necessarily the growth, because that's going on all over the place. It's how we manage it. So I think we've done a pretty good job. I'm not hearing a lot of, feedback from the general public. So no news is good news in my world, because it's, nobody ever comes up and pat you on the back too much, tells you you're doing a great job. You usually hear from them when they're unhappy. So that's really it. That's my spiel on the budget. My thanks to Kim and Jenny in that office, and everybody, Beth, and the other thing was too, this year we had a 98% collection rate on our taxes. We normally ran around 95, 96%. So that's good. That's an indication to me about how the people of the township are doing. A lot of people are not behind on their taxes. So all in all, I just want you to know that we take a look at the whole picture. We don't just, if somebody came to me and said our collection rate was 92%, I'd be concerned, because obviously that's a drop from what I'm used to. And I've been doing this a long time. So right now is a good time to be sitting in this chair. It won't always be that way. It's not always that way. But I'm very pleased with what we've done as a council. And again, my thanks to the department heads for putting together, a good budget and trying to keep, one other thing that the chief did put in for is new weapons for our police department. So we will keep them up to date. I believe the last weapons, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, were donated by a former resident. Okay, so, and that was probably about 10 years ago? Yeah, so the township itself has probably not bought new weapons. 15 years? Yeah, so, again, because of donation to residents, the way the police department's been running, I can't, thank the department heads enough for all they've done, because as I've said before, I'm a part-time guy. I have a full-time job, as these other gentlemen do up here. It's not easy. The system fails us all. So we have to depend on the people that we have in place. So thank you. That's my spiel on the budget. Anybody else?
Yep.
Or have I said enough as usual?
You're doing good.
All right, thanks. All right. We really don't need to act on anything there at this point, so we'll jump into new business. Number one is ordinance number 22-02. It's the first reading to amend, revise, and supplement Chapter 227, Vehicles and Traffic, including Section 11, stopping and standing prohibited during certain hours on certain streets, that is relative to Strikers Road. Any questions, comments? Motion to act?
Motion.
I'll second it.
Councilman Beckara?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Toledo?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Yes. Number two is ordinance number 22-03. It's the first reading to amend and revise Chapter 243 entitled Zoning and Land Use to amend sections 243-5, 243-65.3 and 243-77 to prohibit truck stops within the Township of Lopatcong.
Make a motion on that?
Second.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Toledo?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Yes, number 3 is ordinance number 22-04. It's the first reading to amend Chapter 227 entitled Vehicles and Traffic to add regulations pursuant to NJSA 39-5A-1 for the private roadway systems within the Autumn Ridge development. What exactly?
That allows the police to go in.
Okay, all right.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Toledo?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Yes. Consent agenda. Gentlemen, 1 through 8, is there anything anybody wants pulled out of there? Good. Have a motion on the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Belcarro?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Toledo?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Yes. Council reports. I'm going to lead off tonight because I do see some of my truck people in the audience. Our zoning officer has been on top of this, and I'm going to, rather than read what was done here, I'm going to kind of let Katrina explain where we're at this point in regards to the truck parking out at Twilight, and also the old, I refer to it as Cooper's, which is the property next to it, and the mall. So,
Sure. So we received an email from the zoning officer. He had issued violations to the Phillipsburg Mall property. They did go to court. The owner of the property did appear in court. It was postponed to another day, but while they were there, they did agree to put up no parking signs, because they said they don't want the trucks there either. So they agreed to put up new signage and to clean up the property. So the matter was adjourned to another date to make sure that they're doing that and they're following through. And if the trucks are still parking, they're not doing anything about it, then the court will do something about it. The Twilight lot, the owner did not appear in court, so that matter, though, was put off to another date. However, the zoning officer was able to speak to the owner of the property, who said he did not know that parking was not permitted on his lot, and he agreed to let the person who operates the lot, which was an interesting thing to say, so the owner must be leasing it to someone else, that he has to cease allowing trucks to park there. So that will be put off to another date, so if they haven't stopped doing that, the zoning officer will issue, new violations, but in addition, that one still stands with the court. And finally, the truck repair shop hadn't been previously issued violations because we were looking into, there's 2 lots there, and whether what was approved on those lots. But the zoning officer was able to speak with the owner, who admitted he was renting spaces on the one lot. He has now been put on notice that he has to stop that, and if he doesn't, he will be issued a violation.
So that's really where we're at with the truck situation and the parking and whatnot. So I think we've taken care of as many concerns as our residents have had, and we have had also up here. And again, it'll be an ongoing thing that we are working on. Again, it is what it is at this point. It's how we handle it from going forward. And we're going to do our best to wrap around it as best we can. So with that, Mr. McQuaid?
Mayor, I just want to let you know that I attended a orientation for newly elected municipal officials on February 5th.
Stay awake.
Still here?
Stay awake.
Yes, I did. And I'll be attending another one on, I believe it's March the 12th, my second one that I was assigned to by Beth.
Okay. Thank you. Bill Carroll?
No reports this month.
No report this
No
month.
reports.
Jim?
Thank you. Recreation Committee, we will be having meetings every third Tuesday of the month, 7 o'clock, and additional meetings as needed. We discussed several events, first with the Easter egg hunt. That's going to be April 9th. Talked about Community Day. We'd like to schedule that for September 10th. Music in the Park, we got a grant approved. We have 4 bands booked already. I expect to have 5 more booked this month. Movies in the park, we're looking to do other activities, some nights instead of the movie, some nights in addition to the movie. And we're With the rec committee meetings, I also invite EDAC members, and we discuss issues with that as well. And we're looking for members for both recreation and EDAC. That's all for now, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Wright?
I really don't have anything since you talked about the zoning for the trucks. That's my big pet peeve right now. I'm glad to see we're working on that. I want to thank Kim for the great work on the budget. It's, helps out a lot, knowing what's going on in the background. But that's it, that's all I have.
All right. Paul?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to report to you and the public that there'll be pre-construction meetings this month for the Bellevue Crossing, the Bellevue Road Improvement Project next to Bellevue Crossing, as well as the preparatory work for the 2022 resurfacing program. Both of those meetings are going to be on March 16th. Later this month, I'll be walking the areas that are going to be milled and resurfaced as part of the 2022 program with the contractor. I saw the contractor today in another municipality. So I'll have Brian at that meeting. We'll walk the jobs and mark them out. The goal is to get that work done as soon as the first contract is done, the preparatory work. Regarding Baltimore Street, I did meet with Kim over the last 2 weeks. And the goal would be to get the surveying done once the budget's introduced in the next month or so, because then there'll be a funding source for that particular work. So that's where we're at. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mayor, as you know,
Yes.
I got to leave. I have another meeting. I don't know if there's any questions from the governing body of members of the public on engineering, so I can address them now before I leave.
Yes, sir. Yeah, please.
Richard Merker, 1400 Belvedere Road. Yeah, my question is, I was here several times,
Mhm.
still waiting on some information on the sidewalk that's going in, because I got a contractor coming Friday to start laying out where I want to put my fence up. So I was told, a little bird said they're taking 15 feet from the curb. That's going to be quite a bit into my property for quite a distance. It's also going to come into my stairs that lead up to my house from Belvedere Road. So I need some information as to.
I have the plan. I have to scan it to you. I apologize. I got your recent email. I'll get it to you, and then if you have questions, if you don't get it tonight, it'll be first thing in the morning tomorrow. You call me and we'll go through it.
Outstanding.
Address
All
it.
right.
Okay?
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else for the engineer?
Thank you, Mayor.
You're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chief, you got anything else for us, other than your, Sure.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So every 4 years, the emergency operation plans on the emergency management side of things need to be updated. Just wanted to let you know that they are updated within the township. They were submitted to the county and the state and was recently approved. So that's all put in place for the next 4 years. The other announcement within the police department would be a retirement of one of our officers, Sergeant Jonathan Erickson. He's retiring effective April 1st of next month. And although we're sad to see him go, we're happy to see him go at the same time. He's been a tremendous asset to the community, but his last day of work will be on the 25th, and you're all welcome to join us as we see him out the door for his last day.
So what time will that be?
That's going to be at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock on the 25th?
Friday the 25th.
Great. I'll stop by.
Wonderful.
How about out on Meadowview?
Speed not
Chief?
78. Don't get pulled over.
Anything out there with their cars?
We've been receiving traffic complaints on Meadowview, and we've had resources out there for the last couple of weeks, and we haven't been able to come up with a whole lot. Things have kind of settled down, I guess, maybe with our presence.
Right.
But yeah, it's been pretty quiet out there so far.
Okay.
And then
We'd keep an eye on it, I appreciate it.
absolutely. And while talking about trucks, we're doing the best we can with the truck traffic. That's going to been a complaint throughout the township. Officers are aware of truck traffic coming through. We're doing our best to keep them off our interior roads here. And yeah, you'll see officers out there stopping trucks if they're not if they're on our local roadways anyway. Try to
I've
keep them out the
I've
highway.
seen them, we've talked about it, between you and I certainly appreciate it. I got to tell you a funny story. I think I sent you the picture. There was one parked right in front of my house.
Out of all houses to pick.
Yeah, so, karma can be, it is what it is.
Has that been a problem with these trucks, going off the beaten path?
Certain roadways, like Belvedere Road is certainly a consistent one that we've seen a lot of traffic on. So we're consistently out there. And, it's posted, but by the time they come through, it's already too late. There's not too many places to turn off. But it is posted. They are in violation, but it continues to happen. I think they're just following their GPSs, but hopefully word's going to travel with our presence out there.
Okay, cool.
All
Thanks.
right? Thank you, Mayor and
Thank
Council.
Thank you. Motion approved, department reports?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Approve payment of bills?
We'll pay it.
I'll second it.
Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilman McQuaid?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Council President Wright?
Yes.
Yes. Folks, questions, comments? Oh, come on, somebody, I'd be disappointed. Yes, ma'am.
Bob George, 34 Raleigh Court. I actually first of all, I have a question. When we look at this and it says there's, it's a first reading to an amendment, what happens next after that? Is it done now, or what goes on?
No, so any ordinance the township does requires two months. So this is just introducing it. So now what'll happen is Beth will take it, she'll put it in the newspaper, for all those people who scour the newspaper for public notices, and it'll be posted here. So anyone who wants a copy of the full ordinance to see it can get a copy from her. And then it will be scheduled for the next meeting, which is April 6th is our next meeting.
Yeah.
So the next monthly meeting, first Wednesday of the month, it will be scheduled, all three of these will be scheduled for public hearing and adoption. So at that point, the council will open it for public hearing. Anyone who has any questions about the ordinance will be able to come forward and say, and at that point, you should have been able to get a copy of it and take a look at it.
So is that like the old business section then?
It will be under old business at that point. So
Okay.
we just introduced it, and then the next one, so we didn't take any comments on it because it's just being introduced and no one's seen it because it was a draft. So now it's official, so now anyone can get a copy, they can take a look at it, and then they can, you can come in at the next one, and they'll actually open each one, you'll hear, it'll be painstaking, because they'll open it for public comment, ask for public comment, then they'll close it, then they'll adopt it, then they'll go to the next one, then they'll do it.
So we
over
don't
and
want to
again.
come to the next meeting is what
Maybe
you're
not.
telling me.
No, Mayor Mangucci is very good at very, he's got it in a rhythm, so he'll be through quickly.
Thank
But
you.
if anyone has any questions, they can get a copy from Beth, if you wanted to see it.
I just wanted to understand the process of, because we hear you doing this, 3 months now, and you said first reading, and well, what happens next? When does a bill become a law?
Right.
Okay, my second question was, you just made me forget. All right, well, the park. So there's a trailhead in the park to the county trail system that goes all the way up to upstate New York, and it's a really exciting trail. But I noticed when I went and looked at it that there's this big sign on there that says no dogs permitted, up to $1,000 fine if you're on the trail with a dog. Now, I understand not being in the park without a dog, but that's the only trailhead in our county that has a sign and it's on the trailhead sign. It says $1,000, up to $1,000 fine if you're there with your dog. I really want to park my car in that parking lot and go for a walk with my dogs, but I don't want to pay $1,000 fine, and I don't want to pay $1,000 fine when I come off the trail into the park and walk through.
Yeah.
But you could.
No dogs allowed in the park is
Correct.
one thing, but dogs being allowed to get on the trail, which is a county trail, that it even allows hunting on it. I don't understand why my dog can't go on.
I think it's just a misunderstanding as to where the sign is placed.
Maybe the sign, because I saw it, and I took a picture of it. It's on the county, the
Right.
big county map sign, and it
Well,
says
well, Brian moved the sign.
no dogs allowed. So, okay, that would be
Well, how many
super
signs have
kind.
you seen?
Sorry?
How many signs have you seen?
That's the only sign.
only one.
I went to all the different trailheads,
Okay.
and on that trailhead, it says no dogs up to $1,000. I think it's
So it's
1,000.
misplaced.
It's misplaced.
Right, misplaced, the sign.
I think it's because you don't allow dogs in
In
your
the
park in
park.
general, so
Right.
it's just
and that sign up.
But if you're going on the trailhead there, it seems like you
Yeah.
should be able to without
We'll move it.
worrying about it. Thank you. Can't wait to go for a walk now.
Tell Fluffy we're good.
Yeah, so he will be on a leash because he's a runner.
Okay.
Okay, third question, actually. Have you considered reaching out to Google to update our road? Have we reached out to Google and said, please mark it as no truck traffic?
That is actually an alternative that we've been looking at.
Right, because truckers use a specific type of navigation that says, show me truck routes.
A lot of them should be using commercial GPS.
Exactly.
A lot of them.
So we need to get that street indicated as such in the GPS data. So that was for him. And my last question is, I really want to be officially the Shade Tree Commission. I've already signed up for my core training, but we haven't done anything yet. And I know you've been busy. I'm acting like I'm supposed to, but I don't, and Brian and I are going to meet, as soon as he has time on his calendar, but I'd like to be official. So I'm reminding you again that I want to be official. Please?
Do you officially appoint, Ralph?
I certainly don't have a problem with it. I'll make that motion.
Second it.
Thank you.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go.
Yay, I'm official. I would do a happy dance, but I can't.
All right. Thank you.
Hi, Judy Liptak, 47 Kyle Drive. Thank you very much, Council. Thank you for addressing the truck situation here in town, because that's definitely has piqued my interest. You don't see me here a lot. I went to a few planning board meetings, a couple, and a zoning meeting to find out where to go to talk about the trucks in the area and the warehouses. So we have to live with what we have with the warehouses. But my question is the infrastructure. So we have, I know that they belong to the state or the county, but we have intersections that can't handle these trucks, right? Have any of you recently seen or taken a look at the overpass, the 57? It's like crumbling. You can see rusted rebarb. I was going to take pictures, but it would be extremely dangerous for me to park my car somewhere and get out. And take
Please
pictures.
don't stop there.
And I was going to send them to the Department of Transportation because, a bridge did collapse in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I feel with the increased truck traffic, the warehouses aren't even full yet there. Phillipsburg's going to build one. I feel like we're looking at a time bomb ticking there. That bridge is grossly crumbling. And is there an inspection that can be done so we can be...
I'm not sure whose jurisdiction that's under. I mean, that's a county route that runs through there. You have a railroad that runs over top of it. So I guess we should.
Wait, a
No,
railroad? That's the cars. It's the bend. It's the car.
State highway.
57 and 22.
It goes over 57 to 22.
Yes. So that's bad.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, thank you.
That's state.
Yeah, it's a state highway. It's going to be a state.
Okay, so
DOT.
tell me what to do. I'll not take pictures safely somehow. But the Department of
They were out there
Transportation,
Not too long ago, a couple of years ago, they were out there.
Yeah, they did do some repairs there, but
They had to have seen.
in particular, the area that she's talking about where 57, where you break off at 22 and 57, you run down towards Autumn Ridge.
right, it's
You can see where
crumbling.
there's-
You can see rusted rebarb.
Yeah.
And this is when I'm driving. Imagine if I stopped and got out and really looked. It's like, I'm really worried. I'm very concerned about that with the increased truck traffic. So I kind of feel like, the cart was before the horse. The infrastructure, these roads need to be really accommodating for trucks. Now we have them, so how can we now move forward and petition the state, the county to really look at, because the 22, 519 intersection, the 57, 519 intersection. Today, I witnessed and the signage is really good, a big dump truck try to go underneath, and he had to back out. I see often on Strikers Road, the trucks making a left. I don't want to crash and get my camera out and take a picture, but making left still on Strikers Road, trucks coming out of there. So that 50, I know that they probably only can make a right because that 57, the railroad track, that trucks turning there, it's awful. So what can we do?
Our engineer, who obviously.
I know, I wondered if I should ask
He will,
before we left.
He more than likely has a contact for the DOT, so
Okay.
I will contact him.
Mhm.
I have your contact information.
Yeah.
I'll have him contact you.
Yeah.
And good luck.
We'll see good luck. But can I have some help from council too? In that,
Sure, we
that you guys petition, or I don't mean it.
Paul,
Yeah, Paul can call on behalf of council.
Right, because
Yeah.
we're concerned as citizens that we, and as a council, for the safety of our,
There's no question that's bad.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
yeah,
So, okay.
okay, thank you.
be in
And
touch.
I did know, and again, thank you for the mall. And tonight, there were 5 trucks. I just am having a hard time understanding. The Pohat side has none, they don't have them anymore, but they're doing, even behind the mall, they're staying on the Lopat side. So why? Why is that happening?
I have no idea.
I think Pohat has signs.
I think we just talked about signs there,
It was
right?
the owner of the mall who puts up the signs.
There
not
seems
us.
like there's signs on the Pohat sign with the police, like the ordinance number or whatever. I don't know if Pohat police did that. Should I find that out from Pohat?
We'll look at that.
If we can post signs,
I'll contact,
It's private property, so we have to have the property owner put up the sign.
Okay.
So I don't know why he put it on one side and not the
I
other.
don't know why.
but it's very distinct. They're parking on Lopat side, so it's like, what do we have, the big sign that, sign that says, welcome, all trucks parked on, instead of welcome to Lopat, it's gonna be welcome truck drivers, come on in, park where you want. We don't want that. Right?
all right,
And then the the spot that's state property. It says private property, state, the
Where's
truck
that?
is parked right there, across from Autumn Ridge. And,
Okay. Oh, okay, yeah.
Gate, so he's been there all day. They're stuck there all day. There used to be a blue one, but now this is a different one. It's stuck there.
all right. Chief, I think we've addressed that.
Yeah, it's all,
And it is properly posted, and we haven't been moving trucks along the parking there. So if there's one that's parked there now, it won't be there much longer.
okay.
All right,
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, chief, for being on top of that. Appreciate it.
thank you. Donna, think you had your hand up?
Donna Schneider, 26 Meadowview. A couple of things. So I see Kim twisted your arm to the 2 cents instead of the 1. But yeah, that's fine. I know you had said 1 cent. You weren't going to go over 1 cent.
We weren't gonna go over 1 cent. It's about $100,000 difference for us in surplus, and our reasoning for that is, we had some good rateables this year. We don't know that our,
Sure.
we don't know what our collection rate's gonna be next year, so
Okay.
just trying to take advantage of it while we can.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right, I did say that.
Yes.
1 cent.
Okay. So it's going to, are you keeping it to 2 or is it going to
We're
go?
gonna go, we're gonna keep it.
Going to keep it to 2? Okay, awesome. Thank you very much for Chief mostly and for you two for trafficking and, keeping track of Meadowview because, it's like the girl who cried wolf, no one's coming. They're there and no one's coming. So, but, it's always the case, I know, but just their presence there, maybe people will start seeing it and maybe think twice about, going around the bend so quickly. So thank you for following up on that. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Chief. Thank you also for the ordinances. Like you said, most people come up here and complain. I'm always one of those people too, but I always try to say thank you as well. So thank you for taking care of that because you didn't have to do anything. You could have let us keep on complaining about it and didn't do anything, so thank you. I appreciate the ordinances very much. And also with the pool in that area, after the planner, he or she is going to give you, you either got to get rid of it or put something else there,
Get rid of it,
option.
put something else there. We're also looking at like the pavilion and whatnot.
Right.
Because you gotta understand the pool, the field house and the pavilion, that's 60s,
Oh.
70s.
Right.
We didn't do anything until 2006, which is when we expanded the park. So, concession stands, you have the
Yeah.
pond fields out there, so we just feel like we're losing some things. I'd like to build off of the Rally Point, which is a very nice area
Yep.
for the bands and stuff, and not actually build off of that, but just
Yeah.
make
in
that kind of a focal.
spirit, Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a very nice thing up there.
Yeah.
So it's time. We'll at least take a look at it. We don't want to bankrupt anybody, but One of the things that everybody seems to be, they love that park up there.
Yeah.
And the walking trails and all that other stuff, that seems to be what people want nowadays.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do our best to accommodate them. The pool, as I've told you several times before, personally, it opened up when I was 9 years old, so, it's got a lot of sentimental reasons attached to it, but again, I gotta look at the business end of it. You know, when we were a township of 3,000 people, we had nothing to see, 400 kids up there. Now we're a township of almost 9,000 people, and we're lucky if we see 50, because people have their own pools. It's just the way it is. It's not 1967 anymore.
Right.
So again, it's not necessarily what we do, but how we handle what we're dealt.
Sure. I know you had said, you were gonna, so if they come back with saying, yeah, we can probably do something with the pool, is that gonna be an addendum item that you were suggesting, or is it just going to be you're going to do like a public,
I want to put the pool out for referendum.
okay, you want to do it for referendum?
That's what I want to do.
Okay, that's what I meant, sorry.
It's way too big of a decision to, for me to, me and four of the people to say, hey, we're going to spend $4 or $5 million. We can do something else with that land if in fact we don't use the pool. It's a beautiful park. It's a beautiful site where that pool is. So we'll do something. Personally,
Okay.
I'd love to see the pool come back and we used to have dances there and all that other stuff. It's just not what kids do anymore.
Nope.
So it'll be a business decision.
Yeah.
How much money do I want to throw at something? It's never going to pay for itself. You got about a 75, 80-day window there to make money and take out rainy days and whatnot. It's become a community service.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know it. My taxes are pretty high as it is. For the referendum, would it be a one-time, if you did go that route, would it be a one-time tax increase, or would it be like the school they wanted to continue, like it was a continuing
I haven't
one?
looked into that end of it.
Okay, too soon.
But yeah, it's too soon for that. But
Okay,
we have tax appeals, and we're in the fourth year of a $725,000 tax appeal. Is that what that total was on that? Anyway, you don't need to worry about that. But it was around that. So next year will be year 5. So whatever we're putting toward that, maybe you can take that money. It's already in the budget.
sure.
See no tax increase and throw it towards however we decide we're going to
Right,
pay
whatever
for
you
this
do.
park. So,
Okay, okay. Just-
450 all told?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else? Questions, comments? Yes, sir.
Rich Merker, 1400 Belvedere Road. I just had a comment that we understand that it's going to be a never-ending battle with these trucks, but the police force, everyone should know that they're doing a great job. Like, I live right on that corner. I rarely see a truck go around that corner that doesn't get pulled over. So it's just something that we're going to have to keep fighting, but they're doing a great job. Maybe 2 trucks is the way to go, an extra one out there.
Yeah. As I told the chief when he got started with this, I really don't care if the truckers start chirping amongst themselves, they don't go through Lopat. For those of us who live around here, have lived around here, if you go down through Frenchtown, most people know if it says 25 miles an hour in Frenchtown, you do 25 miles an hour, you're going to get stopped. So if the truckers get the same type of attitude, that's fine with me. Don't go through a Lopat, at least not where you're not supposed to be going anyway. So, anyone else? Questions, comments? Seeing and hearing none? Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Folks, thanks for coming out. Appreciate it.
I was looking at that one.